dying to a horrible disease, being eaten alive by a giant snail, and getting exploded by a big pimple. If this sounds bad for you, you should reconsider your choices, because today in Total Warhammer 3, we are going to give you a new look to the Empire, spreading the blessings of Nurgle and curing anyone who does not look like this. Before we begin, let's talk about one rule. I can't subjugate any faction. If we destroy the last settlement of a faction as Chaos Warriors, we have the option to force them to serve us. It is the optimal way to play, but Festus is a selfish man and wants all the Empire to himself. We start at the Empire, and one thing I noticed is that there is not enough Nurgle corruption on the map, which pisses me off. So better start doing some work. After destroying my neighbor's home, I took the peasant souls. They are used to make offerings to the Chaos Gods, granting us powerful gifts. For example, by sacrificing 500 souls, we can recruit one unit of demons for every 3 turns. It is worth it if you ask me. A few turns after, a cow began to interfere in my plans. Yes, I want to help you for sure. He was so mad about what I did that later he used an entire army to ambush one singular lord, poor guy. I found him stealing my money near my capital. Nothing I had injury can't fix. Some turns later, I saw an interesting man in my borders. Our friends took a settlement next to us. I don't know why he's here instead of fighting Vlad, but I'm glad because I can deal with him before he becomes a big problem. The bad thing about the Chaos Warriors is that they don't have any ranged units, so it's just the melee troops fighting while taking shots from the enemy. However, the enemy shooters are weak to toxic dogs. Right after, I sent my regards to another nearby faction. He could attack me at any moment, so I just prevented it. As my giant was taking down their walls, Festus died somehow. Maybe the club hit his head, or he had a heart attack. All I know is that I have to wait 5 turns for him to recover. With Festus gone, the Empire sent 2 full armies at me. I was able to attack one army isolated, and a lot of this happened. The other army's lord morphed into friends, took my fortress, and revived his friend, just to be killed again. Festus recovered just in time to push back friends again. As he was out, I attacked his capital. Let's say they did not have a good time. With the Empire under control, I sent 2 armies to fight Nordland, where they died on the second battle. Honestly, they just delayed the inevitable, because a few turns after, I had another army inside their capital. Meanwhile, at south, I found one of the last Empire settlements. They were so desperate that they had a dwarf and an elf on the garrison. They must be farmers because fighting is not their thing. Then Carl made his last attempt with some people he found at the nearest gas station. They were not good at fighting either. With Carl defeated, I looked around to see how things were going. In the west, Kemmler was busy fighting the French. In the north, 3 different factions were fighting each other, and near Festus there was only a weak Winstanlande army, and no sign of Elspeth. I had suspicions that she was fighting Vlad somewhere here. I captured her strongest capital and 2 minor settlements. Some turns later I found Elspeth and Vlad, and speaking of Vlad, he was having a hard time against the orcs and the wood elves, which means at some point I must face them too. The wood elves are easy to deal with. The real problem is the orcs. They were born for war, they breathe war, they don't sleep thinking about war. Sometimes I think they don't even feel pain, crazy stuff. The next turn, the French declared war on us, and Elspeth besieged one of my settlements. The worst decision she has ever made. After that, I decided to split my armies again. This time, I wanna take the west, controlled by Kemmler. By defeating Elspeth one last time and eliminating her faction, I could begin my crusade against him. Right after capturing one of his capitals, he sent 2 armies into my territory. As none of my armies were nearby, I had to use another Nurgle's perk, creating a custom disease containing the most vile effects you've ever seen. This one will rot the units of this army, even if they appear to already be rotten. At north, he had 3 full hidden armies. That's why you use heroes to scout. However, there's a big difference between our troops. It's like the Coffin Babe versus Hydrogen Bomb. At south, 2 of my settlements were attacked, but I don't care as long as it's not a dark fortress. On the same turn, 4 armies attacked my secondary lord. They are trash, but they have the numbers, and I can lose if I don't pay attention. It was 8 minutes of endless hordes of zombies. I thought I was playing another game. They even flanked from behind, but we have something they don't. Strong spells. Arbal offered the deal. It was a really bad one, but since we have an enemy in common, I agreed. With West dominated, or almost, the next targets are these 4 settlements. It'll be an easy task because Kemmler troops are trash, and the French were hunting him down too. And speaking of him, he still tried. After that, I occupied his settlement and got attacked by the French. They were confident at least. After some turns, Azeg declared war. He's just the 3rd strongest faction right now, while we sit in 18. We might need Nurgle himself to win this. He started attacking my new army. It was in march mode, so I could not retreat. You see this many troops and think there is 2 armies. Actually, it's just one. The Orc faction has the wall mechanic. It basically doubles the army if they win against a certain faction. It's very good when you are not the target. I don't know how, but he set up 5 armies near my territory, each one with its own wall army. With my situation getting tough, I had to make peace with Kemmler and redirect my forces to the Orcs. They are truly tough and relentless warriors, but still none of them can survive a giant axe to the skull. After that, I reclaimed a settlement they took earlier. It was easier than I expected. Later, on the same turn, 2 Orc armies ended their lives by running into my Dark Fortress settlement. Smart creatures. Even after all this, the power balance has not changed at all, so I had to sacrifice more souls to Nurgle in exchange for better units. 3 full enemy armies were marching through my territory. One of them headed straight to Festus and died. The other 2, which had level 50 Azeg, the faction's leader, had the same fate. Meanwhile, 3 more armies appeared out of nowhere. I think they are using the escaping tunnels. My secondary army auto-resolved one of them, and a goblin riding a big spider attacked him while he was healing. When you see this giant green demon with wings, a giant mace and a big mouth as a belly, you automatically think he's very strong, an unstoppable force, and literally immortal. I wish he was like this too, because he could not handle a few orcs poking spears and shooting wooden arrows at him. Now I have to recruit a level 1 lord on turn 69. Very good. The next turns I infected the orcs with the worst diseases you can imagine. Beat some of them, got scammed by a wood elf, beat more orcs, and got my province invaded while I was distracted. Luckily, I could retreat my new army. As it was consisting of level 1 units, I had to give them a degenerative disease and wait for them to rot. Fortunately, they are not very smart, as they could just attack my settlement together. While most of Azeg forces were up north, I started taking more of his territory. There is only 4 of his settlements to take. Victory was close. After invading Azeg's land and destroying more of his forces, the power balance has finally been at our favor. By kicking them out of the Empire's land, I traded his settlement I took earlier for a peace treaty. My next target would be the dwarves, and I could not afford to fight 2 factions at the same time. I mean, I think I could because Chaos Warriors are designed to be at war with everyone, but I did not want to risk it. By the way, this purple area has been here the entire game. It's caused by this uncanny creature. Every single campaign, he just stands here the entire time. It must be part of his Int's plans. Let's see how strong he is at turn 85. Yes, all according to plan. The cause of the corruption is the hidden codes he has in my settlements. Just need some gold to get rid of them. Upon declaring war at the short man and taking what is mine, I realized I was poor. It doesn't even make sense, demons needing gold to maintain themselves. But alright, the main income of this faction is sacking and looting, and from what I've heard, the French had a lot of it. So I sent 2 full armies to borrow some gold. On the dwarves area, one tried to pass me by moving underground like rats. Did not work. Belegar himself was coming hot to face Festus. Did not work either. They did not have enough power to face us, so they were not a problem. On the French side, I besieged Bretonia's main capital, and they indeed had a lot of gold. Our economy was good. The empire is almost ours, and everything was under control. Nothing could go wrong now.
I shall kill you, then revive you, then kill you again.
And that's why you never make peace in this game. 4 armies were coming from the mountains, and I had just 1 army nearby. I could auto-resolve one of them and Azag too. As I took one of my cities back, a strong York army besieged it with my lord inside. My only choice here was to fight. It was a hard fight, lost too many troops, and instead of running away like a good loser, he attacked me again. Had to suffer for 10 minutes with this amazing roster, but I still won somehow. Meanwhile, the dwarves were trying their best to win. Just trying. After a few turns, I reclaimed my territory again. As I began to push into the mountains, he offered a peace treaty, but I'm not making the same mistake twice. I'd rather eradicate him. With the dwarves under control, the next plan was to take all the remaining settlements at once. I need to scatter all my armies to these key positions and attack at the same time. As I have non-aggression agreements with all of them, everything needs to go as planned. Because once I break the agreements, every faction in the game will turn their fangs against me. And one more thing to add, the end game is announced. After 10 turns, the Skaven will swarm the surface with countless rats, so I needed to be fast. Under the circumstances, I had to make peace with Azag again. I know he'll declare war again as soon as possible, but right now I can't afford this fight. I began scattering my troops to the key positions, and at turn 110, I began the attack. I started with Arbal, because his main capital is far from the Empire, and he would not make his way here in time. The second target was Trot. He has 2 settlements near each other. I should be able to get the other after taking this one. The third target was Norska. He had settlements near my capital and at south. I just thought the Skaven were here. That's why I never took this one. Now there is only 5 cities to take. 2 from Norska, 1 from Kemler, 1 from the Skaven, and 1 from Azag. Festus was about to taste victory and show the old world who the best Chaos God is. However, things were getting weird. Besides Belegar standing near my borders with a full army of angry drunk people, there were too many orc armies into my territory. Azag cannot give me a break. At north, I captured another Skaven city. Give me full control of this region. At west, another city falls to Nurgle. In the middle of the empire, war was declared against the Kemler, but I did not expect this result. Again, I believe this is winnable, but I cannot risk it. I don't have any other army nearby in case this one fails. And to make things better, Azag declared war again, by taking the settlement. Should have killed him when I had the chance. Kemler sallied out to attack. I won, but instead of occupying it, my greedy side spoke louder, and the next turn, his garrison recovered 50% of their health. With Kemler dead and me not wanting to battle this manually, I just used the auto-resolve, lost all my units, but I captured the settlement. At Britonia's side, I took the last Norska settlement, just a few more left. This orc was taking all my southern settlements, and I could not use this army to deal with him, because it's close to one objective, and if I go down to chase, he could just run and waste my time. So I just have to ignore him for now. By taking this city, there was only 1 left. Actually, 2 left. Now it's 3. It feels like I'm in a roller coaster from hell. The next turn, I caught Azag off guard. He sure had the numbers, but I had a much stronger army, and an unmatched rage for fighting this guy for hours. For some reason, this beautiful creature declared war on me. He sent an army near the settlement. I'm sure he's not interested in warm cities, as he just lives in the cold. He did not even take it, just did this to make me mad. And the worst part, it worked. Ulfric appeared at the east out of nowhere. He must be using the Skaven tunnel too. I ignored him and went to take the settlement, eliminating 1 more objective. And when I least expected, Vermintide came on turn 116. I don't know how the Vermintide in the game works actually. In every other scenario, a bunch of armies just spawns on the map, hunting for your head. But considering how the Skaven nature works, it'll take some time before an attack, so I will not stress about it. I took the 2 settlements near the Orc Mountains, just 1 more to capture now. Or 2. A sneaky goblin just revealed himself. I'm so disgusting right now that even the Ever-Chosen and his vassals declared war on me. Well, just more names on the list. I finally took back this one Orsk raised earlier. Now this army just needs to sit here forever. And now, by the love of that Nurgle, the mightiest Chaos God, this one should be the last settlement to take. The problem is, it'll take some turns for my army to get there. Someone could attack before that. And of course Azazel came down here too. Luckily, he is as weak as the bones of an old man. Back to the orcs, I finally caught this dumb green creature that delayed the game for about 20 turns. By capturing 2 more objectives, all I had to do was to click this button and pray that nobody attacks another city. I don't know what this is about, and there is too much text to read, so I will just ignore it. Anyways, nobody attacked me and the last settlement is taken, and Festus sits on the throne of the Empire as its new king, remembering the pain that was to get here, the souls he had to sacrifice, and the most important thing, he'll torture this guy for his entire life.